I'm going to practice my speech for Jazz Night at the Space Hub Lounge. I'm not sure really how long it'll take me to run through what's here, but after I'm done, I would love to open up the conversation that I started in this container with you and hear what your thoughts are. If you aren't or haven't planned yet to attend Jazz Night at the Space Hub Lounge, there's still time. Go to habitbook.com/RSVP and you can request a ticket for entry into the Zoom room. So what I'm doing today is practicing my speech for tonight, and it begins with meditation and sets the stage, kind of explains what the Space Hub Lounge is, and then I open up a conversation on joy. So thank you for coming. I can't wait. Ready? Shall we? Let's begin by centering ourselves and creating an energetic container for our experience this evening. I invite you to join me in setting an intention around this space and time to comfortably enjoy the performance, each other, and ourselves. And ourselves are yourselves. Draw in a slow, loving breath as you allow everything around and within you to settle a little bit more comfortably. You can close your eyes for a few moments if you want. Now let that breath go. Now let's take a new breath in through the nose, relaxing your shoulders, opening your chest, softening and deepening into your seat. Hold the breath in your belly, and with great gratitude and peace, let's exhale all that we won't need for the next hour. You can do the kind of like lion raspberries exhale, or just norm. One more time, we'll draw fresh air in, connecting with our hearts, bodies, minds, and each other. Exhale, this time to release the idea that there's anything to release. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. And now we start. Dear friends, patrons, clients, and new peeps, welcome to Jazz Night at the Space Hub Lounge. The lounge was born to be a place for connection for those who were seeking it. What I found in several years of talking about deep inner processes on Instagram was that others who were focused in a similar way often felt unsupported or at a loss in their local communities, or even among their friends, like their good friends. What they used to connect with people on no longer resonated with them in the same way. And the topics that were most important or present couldn't always be entertained thoughtfully by those around them. So basically what I'm saying is that I saw that my fellow inner space explorers felt a little displaced and even sometimes lonely. Inner space exploration is a special type of experience that you sort of need to have to understand. Just to be clear on what I mean when I'm talking about inner space exploration, I mean a practice of deep self-reflection and contemplation that often inspires and supports exponential transformation as your understanding of yourself and the world undergo massive shifts towards more possibilities, greater acceptance, and a truer expression of self. I know that makes it sound glorious, and those who have done it know that while it is full of grace, it can be a bit of a show. Can I get an amen? Nevertheless, it's a beautiful experience that I think is led by a wisdom greater than our own. Hey, Anna. I know personally I probably wouldn't have self-selected it if I knew what it included, let's be real. But on the other side, and in greater comfort in my newest self, I can really honor and appreciate the remarkable changes that occurred without my conscious leadership. Like me, many have found in the work things they didn't expect to find, like more intuition, universal secrets, maybe an affinity for things like rocks and sound baths. I know my Instagram fan helped me immensely in grounding the things I saw in my inner space journey when the people I used to lean on couldn't. I honestly don't know if I could have done it without the people I met there. Actually, I know I couldn't have. At least not without a straitjacket. The Space Hub Lounge is here to provide that same kind of camaraderie, peace, inspiration, and support, as there are others who get it and can and would love to be a part of your new world. So to wrap this up, it's an honor to create and hold some time and space for fellow explorers to connect with and support each other in their sometimes invisible to the untrained eye adventures. Hey! Hey Jace. Hey Vince. So what I'm doing today is practicing. I'm just going to read my speech for the Space Hub Lounge tonight. And what I'm about to read is the intro to the conversation on joy. So I'm going to read the intro here and then open it up for like legit conversation here. So if you want to stick around, it'll probably take me like another 4 minutes of my speech. So, let me frame the discussion a little more clearly, and then it'll be your show. In the ticket email you received, which I think was really cute, there were these questions. I'll put them in the chat box so you can reference them if you want, and I'll read them aloud right now. What lights you up? What is being lit? How does it relate to you being you? Hey, why does any of it matter? And where does it fit in a bigger picture? What I mean by joy and being lit is the experience of direct experience, which means you're participating with and in life in a way that you lose your ideas of self and perhaps time or even limits and become, without effort, one with all. It's sort of like the lines between you and others, now and later, because and why blur into non-existence as your awareness is completely subsumed by what you're doing or experiencing in the moment. Joy to me is inspiration, the universe, or love in action, and exists where there is no longer separation between self and other. So like the land beyond the mind, where you forget about anything except what's right here, right now. Some call this experience flow. I'd like us to take this concept and compare it with the idea of individuality tonight. What is individuality? How is our joy unique to us? Where or how do these things fit into our everyday lives or our roles as global citizens? So this topic is a big old thing to bite into, and so I encourage everyone to nibble the edge that's closest to them and not to worry about whether or not it's profound or right or considers every element of the world's longest prompt. We're building this conversation together, and each contribution is perfect and right on time. And so please leave any ideas you might have about relevance or importance with your shoes, and we'll let what knocks in. I'd also like to encourage you to keep your responses to a 2 to 4-ish minute limit. After your piece, please scan the Zoom room and look for who wants to contribute next, and you can pass the mic on your own inspired selection, saying something like hot potato Nate. As the next person, you can pick up the thread immediately where it was left off, or start a new one, or respond to a prior one. Again, we'll let the wisdom of the unfolding be right and perfect, and I trust each participant to be thoughtful in their sharing of the mic time. So with no further ado, who would like to contribute a thought or two on joy and or individuality? I'll share the screen. That's the end of my speech. Does anyone want to go? Come on. If you haven't signed up for Jazz Night, there's still time. habitbook.com/RSVP, and then you'll get the cute ticket email, which if you don't know how to embed GIFs, I will teach you so that, I also learned how to create and embed a video in Gmail. It takes some work, but if you're trying to do that, let me know. Anyone? I'm pretty excited. Where's everyone out in their development? I'm going to talk a little, I guess, since no one else wants to contribute. I'll talk about what I've been exploring lately, or feeling rather, and it's been fucking intense. It's like all systems are go and then mow. The question is joy in this concept similar to flow? It show is, yes. Why I am using joy instead of flow is that I think flow occurs to me more of a state that finds you, where I would like joy to be a door that you can reliably knock on to find that experience. So like to me, sometimes like flow will happen when you're not paying attention, and then it's like, oh great, I'm in flow, like I hope I don't lose it, like ah. Whereas with joy, I want it to be some like almost comfortable, cozy place that you can go where you know, like where everybody knows your name. Yeah. Did I answer your question? That's a great question. So what's happening, what I'm noticing right now is this like merge where the life or the dream or the vision is, it's like dropping into reality in a way that it's like things are happening, but nothing is happening. It's a very strange sensation. Is anyone else going through this right now, where it's like, it's go time, baby, and like you're doing stuff, but you can't see anything? It's like all of this, like the lights haven't turned on, but there's like all of this motion behind stage. That's how I feel. A lot of oh fuck no as well, where I'm noticing that my connection to my vision and reality has strengthened in such a way that I'm able to better notice when someone is presenting a conflicting one in a way to get something from me. And it's not get something like maliciously. It's like, oh, love or connection or acceptance or support, or maybe it's like a place to project their experience or their expectations. And previously, I think I, being like highly sensitive, would just kind of like roll with and harmonize what the other party was presenting. But now there's like this, oh fuck no, like a very strong connection to what I'm bringing into reality, and an unwillingness to waver, to accommodate like the misperceptions of others. And I really feel, or it seems like everything is a reflection of self. And so while I am talking about others, really what I'm talking about is them reflecting back to me the opportunity for me to step beyond my own hesitation to do that. So I'm experiencing that opportunity via the people in my life, but I really want to make it clear that it's not like a me versus them thing. They're kind of just showing me where I am holding, where I still have sort of like some barriers to flick through so that I can really step into this next expression of self. And it's a very empowering place to give people their power back. What we don't notice, actually, can we go over to the whiteboard? I'm wearing, okay, if you want to know, I'm in Zoom business casual right now, where I have on like a shirt that makes sense, but I also have on like shorts that don't. So I was going to take you over to the board, but I think we'll stay close. We'll stay close seated. I call that Zoom glam, if you want to use it. So stay with me. Let me get my crayons. I know, right? Sometimes I forget, and then I'll stand up and I'll be like, oh fuck. So check me out. I'm going to use a love relationship, because I think this is a really easy one that most people can connect with. So we've got person A and person B. And person A meets person B, and person A now feels this some type of way. Oh, they feel love. They feel love. And so they think that they feel love because of the existence of person B. But you know what? Love, this experience that they're having, is inside of them. It's internal. And so this is happening inside of them, which means this is not the source. The source is here. There is something that has occurred via the stimulus of another to open that door within, but the source, the experience, is still inside. Similarly, if we're mad at somebody or we're mad at something, we're looking externally, but the experience is internal. And so when I hear conversations or when I read things about the kingdom being within, it's like, oh, by the way, it's all happening in your head. And your experience is largely determined, let's say the quality of your experience is largely determined by the meanings that you assign things. So if I assign a meaning that's like, hey, this is great, then, oh, hey, I feel great. But I could look at the same thing and say like, oh no, this is terrible. And then I would feel like shit. And then being in a lower state, the thoughts that I selected or that selected me would also be shitty. And so this experience kind of spirals down. When I'm talking about experience leadership, it's being aware that at any given moment, you have the opportunity to affect your experience spiral either up or down by the way that you are using your body, assigning meaning, or connecting with the piece of you that's like, this right from me, fuck all y'all. Thanks for the support around the shorts. They're actually, sadly, they're my boyfriends. That military stuff. All right. So going back to this example, person A experiences love and they associate it with person B. But what I'm trying to say is like, yo, that's happening inside of you. And so you can have the experience of love unconditionally. And that is the opportunity, it seems like, in leveraging laws of the universe, which are basically saying like, feel it and then it is. So tune into the station of the experience that you want and then it is. But whenever we have been trained to look for solutions externally as sources of sources of feeling, it seems bizarre. You're like, okay, so you want me to feel like I'm prosperous when I have about $4 in the bank? And I'm saying, yeah, no, that seems like the way. I wish it wasn't. Like, I wish it was harder than that. But it seems like we can approach that, let's say, external transformation in time, meaning we think if we do this and then this and then this, we will achieve this. And because we think that and we approach it with that belief, we do achieve this in time. However, it seems like you can collapse that causal chain, step out of time, and shorten the distance between you and the external condition by leveraging the internal experience first. So saying like, okay, well, what is it that I expect? Why do I want to have that thing in my life? What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I want? It's like, oh, well, I want to feel this type of way. Well, again, when we look at this, it's like, oh, you want to have the thing outside of you so that you could have the internal experience. But the experience is internal. And so, like, you don't need a thing outside because it's all happening inside of you. You see? When I initially, like, being an end range explorer, I took this to like, I took it to the fucking edge. And it was like, okay, if that's the case, then why do anything? Like, I can sit in bliss. Why the fuck should I sweat? Like, why would I put myself in the drama of relationships? Why would I do anything if all of it is inside? What's the point? And it's like, oh, for the experience. Time, like, so going back to like time, that causal chain, why would you do that? Why would you experience the progress of things in time when in truth you could experience them instantaneously? Because it's fun to see things grow and like go through and like appreciate. It's like it's a canvas for appreciation and greater pixelation. IMHO. Being in the place of knowing that it's all inside and like I could just bliss out and not do shit. I will say that if you let yourself do that, eventually you'll find that you want to do stuff anyhow. Because because it's just more fun. Like, you're here, might as well. And it's like, oh, can I try? It's like it really becomes a game of skill refinement and focus, where it's like, think of something that you like, a hobby or a sport or something that you've picked up and that you kind of like diligently apply yourself to over time, because you're like, it's kind of cool to get better at the piano. It's kind of cool to get better at darts. Like, I like to see how, like, it's just something fun that you do and you see how you progress, over time. It's like that same thing, but at life. Like, how good can you be at maintaining the awareness that your condition, that your experience is an internal job? It is conditionless. That means, like, at any given time, you can feel any type of way. It's totally up to you. Which doesn't always seem like the sexiest solution, because it's like, again, like, we have been conditioned to be like, I need to get that so I feel this, or if I don't have those underwear, I won't be pretty, and if I don't eat that, then I'll be fat, and if I do this, then I'll be lonely. But who told you that? People who want you to buy things, and God bless them, they probably think that's true. But you, and your wisdom, know that you don't need anything to feel any type of way. You do things for the fuck of it because you can, and you're here, and well, actually it is kind of fun to try to apply ourselves in a way to build things constructively. You could have, or allow yourself the experience of having you could allow yourself the experience of having moments, like a string of unconnected moments. Here's joy, here's joy, here's joy, and that would be fine as well. But if I found that in having singular moments of joy, I actually craved the experience of a greater complexity of like a networked moment, where it's like, oh, I want to build something over time. And so work to me is actually being able to hold focus through a changing landscape. Can you keep the vision in your heart, believing that it's true, and to take a step, or at least step with intention towards that? So it seems like it doesn't matter what the fuck you do. It matters why you do it and what you think it exists on the other side. So you could eat at Dairy Queen every day, but if your intention was like, I'm doing this because I love me and I know the body that I want is beyond this, and you really, and you're in the depths of your soul believe that to be true, that would be your experience. And that, my friends, is called placebo effect, which is sometimes more effective than medicine. But so it doesn't really matter. And so basically what I'm saying is, time is a canvas, and it's for you to create an experience that you would like to have. And that basically means that when we plot healing in time, which, trust me, like, I smoked that. I was huffing healing for like years. You can do that. That's an experience to have. And it's profound, and it's beautiful, and it's deep, and it's got all these twists and turns and all this stuff. Or you don't have to. You can heal in an instant just by allowing for that to no longer be a focal point where you don't believe you have to do this before you do that. You can step beyond time into the state by assuming wholeness. And it's a really subtle shift in perspective, but it can accumulate to a much different experience. It doesn't mean that you don't heal in a world where you're not focused on healing. It just means that it's delivered to you sequentially while you're doing other things. So it's sort of like you step, and at that step, you need this part of you open and you need this part released. And it just so happens that you're presented with opportunities to do that. And if you stay present to the information around you, which means you're not reciting in your head how you're going to fix it or change it, or why you need to get somewhere else, or why you deserve to get somewhere else, or how you got here, or what's going to happen next, when you hush and you behold, then what you need to see to get to the next thing is revealed. It's such a mind fuck. Such a mind fuck. Seriously, like the irony of it, it's just like the absurdity. It's so much. What I found, and this is fucked up, you can judge me if you want. What I found is that all pain and trauma that we are healing is a result of a thought framework where we experienced something in such a way that we weren't able to process it real time, and or we recorded it in a way that constricted our expression going forward. So we felt pain and we said, no, it's not safe to connect with people deeply. And so we close off. And so there's this pain, there's this experience of loss that is only the result of a faulty idea that it's like okay. I was watching I forget which Shakespeare play it was, but it was put on by this amazing theater company that I totally recommend that does socially directed pieces called Theater of War. The guy that puts it together is a fucking angel, and I think it was Creon King, I forget. But anyhow, there's this king, and it's a dramatic reading, and the king is like, I'm ready to retire. Daughters, tell me, which of you loves me best? And he has 3 daughters, and the first daughter's like, Papa, I love you because all this stuff. And he's like, that's great. And then the next one's like, Papa, I love you more than that, and here's why. And he's like, that's even better. And the third daughter's like, Dad, I can't really put it in words. He's like, well, fuck you then. We're over. And he banishes her. And then he goes to live with one of the daughters, and I guess he wants to party and live out his days a certain type of way. And she's like, Dad, you can't bring all your homies here. Like, it's too much. And he's like, how dare thee stop my party, like, fuck you. And then he goes and lives with the other one, or wants to live with the other one. And she's like, Dad, you can't come here. Like, I know what you did at my sister's. And anyhow, I'm losing my shit because all I can think about is like, this is Christmas in a small town. You know, this is where like everybody's throwing their emotional weight around it's like absurd. It's like fucking absurd. Like this incredibly talented actor, and I'm losing my shit because all I can see is him in like some crazy ass Hawaiian shirt, not too dissimilar from this, being a pain in the ass at his daughter's 4th of July picnic. And that's really how we function. It's absurd. It's crazy, where it's like, I have these ideas about how you should behave. You didn't do that way. Now I'm mad at you. But it's like, those are my ideas. And so what I was talking about earlier about where I am as far as my evolution, it's like that awareness where I'm like, oh, wait. That's your problem. I hear you. I see you. I love you. But that shit ain't mine. And it doesn't mean that it's like when you give them their power back, then they connect with this piece again where they're like, oh, I can be happy regardless of what anybody else is doing because, oh yes, it's an inside job. And that concludes my dramatic reading for today. Again, I totally recommend. It's called Theater of War. They do some really badass pieces. Like they just did Antigone and Ferguson, which was about Ferguson and the riots that were there. And Antigone is a Sophocles play, like a Greek tragedy a long time ago. And they had this choir that was like mind-blowing. They did it on Zoom, and there was a sound engineer that was able to sync like, holy fucking God, like, totally recommend. Anyhow, if you would like to come to Jazz Night tonight, it's still available, hababook.com/RSVP. We're starting in about an hour, about 90 minutes, closer to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In other news, like, I really appreciate your support. I can't say enough, like, what this community has done for me and allowing me to explore and expand into my own potential. And I am honored, like, that you are a part of these conversations with me and invite me into your world and share what's happening with you. It is a profound experience, and I'm infinitely grateful. Like, I could cry. I will be leading content. I brought on some business coaches in April, and my business coaches were like, Shaylee, your shit's all over the place and nobody knows what you're saying. And I was like, that's valid. I hear you. And so you probably noticed that my Shaylee Edwards story got kind of boring and a little canned. And I probably looked sad because I was trying to filter what's natural to me. So I'm going to experiment with saying fuck all the things I'm supposed to do and just do what I want and see what happens. And if you want to support me during that, meaning like, let me know if that if things work or make sense or don't, like, I would really appreciate that. This is my life, Okay. Thank you so much. I say this all the time, but just again, like, please, like, kind of scroll through the chat line and see each other's names. And if you are inspired to connect, please do. I'm so blessed to know so many amazing people here. And I find that they really enjoy and inspire each other. So, like, one of the happiest things for me ever is when I see, like, my IG friends write on each other's posts, and it's like this big happy, like, oh, we're all here together world. Hey, Solange. It's very amazing. Solange is is the jazz singer who will be performing tonight at Jazz Night at the Space Hub Lounge. I'm honored to host her. And I was just here. I went through my speech for tonight and then opened up or expanded a little on the individuality conversation just to see what was here. Again, if you want to RSVP for tonight, there's still time, habitbook.com/RSVP, and then you'll get a cute email with Zoom room information. Any other thoughts, feelings, suggestions, comments, questions before we close for today? Oh, let's do one more thing. Have you read any Khalil Gibran? That's some shit. In The Prophet, he talks about work, and I think when I'm having conversations about joy and individuality, this is kind of what I mean. It's like I kind of see everybody as like this specialized gear where there's like gears, like it's like, to me, it's like the concept of self is like, oh, this me, I'm different than everything else. I'm separate. However, it seems like when we kind of zoom out and look at the way that things actually work, you couldn't be you without everything else. All the forces conspired in your family, in your world, in your environment, in your genetics to make you exactly you. And so it's like, I see this, I talk about this whenever there's any kind of conversation about like criminals or villains, where I'm like, hey, actually, like, they're there because of the system, and so they appear as separate. They appear as this bad piece that's not us, but actually, like, we all made each other. So it's more like a system problem than an individual problem. And when I'm looking at like how we specialize as individuals, it seems like we sort of are like specialized to sing uniquely in this course of experience, and joy is really to be found, it seems like, in allowing for that to be true, meaning like you're not driving from here, but you're driving from here. And that's sort of like where you feel at home and feel peace, and also what harmonizes the best with the world around you and is therefore like hollered back. So I think this is so beautiful. Which of you would be a reed, dumb and silent, when all else sings together in unison? Always you've been told that work is a curse and labor a misfortune, but I say to you that when you work, you fulfill a part of Earth's furthest dream, assigned to you when that dream was born, and in keeping yourself with labor, you are in truth loving life, and to love life through labor is to be intimate with life's most inmost secret. And so labor to me is just sort of like acting, expressing. It doesn't have to be like work, because what is work? That's just an idea. We're so cute about ideas. Humans, we love ideas. I have so many concepts. Okay, thank you everyone for coming. Hope you can make it tonight or other nights. I love you, and I will see you soon.